Bit of an introduction to grant writing. It's a very useful skill to have in the real world. If this would work. Okay, so what is a grant? A grant is a monetary donation from a level of government or an organization to an applicant. And these are useful for those of us with limited funding. As you guys go through research projects, I'm sure Randy has encountered this problem before. You just need more money. And this is the way you get it. There are lots of organizations. You can find a grant for anything these days. If you go, there are certain websites, I'm not sure where to find them. I didn't ask that much. You can go through, find whatever you need, write an application, and it'll help you out a lot. And as this says, we've gotten at the Corrales Fire Department over $250,000 worth of funds in the past 2 years. And that helps buy radios, other equipment that's essential for our operations. So writing and editing them. I'm only going to present you guys with 3 bits of information. Follow the directions. Number 1, probably the most missed step in all of grant writing. If you miss a direction here or there, they will just throw out your application altogether. The person reviewing the application is a person. I know that sounds redundant, but you have to keep that in mind. You don't want to make it overly wordy, too complicated to read, etc. And the content should be as specific as possible, along with being relevant. You don't want to, once again, make it too wordy. They don't care about what you're doing, why you're wanting to do it. They just want to know how it's going to help you. So here's a little bit more. Following the directions. It's simple, but not doing it is almost as effective as not submitting it in the first place. They will just toss it aside and you will no longer be considered. And then it's relating it to TC. This is like following a style guide. If you're working in the workplace and you write a document that's completely against the style guide, they're going to kick you and tell you to do it all over again. And here's an example of the section of directions from a grant that I helped write a little while ago. I don't know if you guys can read it. It might be easier. And some of these are simple, like postmarking it by October 26th. October 27th, it'll be thrown out. They don't care. Audience awareness. This is another big thing in TC. You do have to present to your audience and keep the language to a reading level that's relevant. If I'm applying for a radio grant at the fire department, I'm not going to use super fancy big words that nobody can understand except if they go here. But if you're applying for a chemistry doodad that has 100 syllables, you'll want to use that specific language. Content. It's one of those other things. This is where it gets tricky with technical editing. We have the by-the-book setup of how things need to be done. Capitalize here, don't capitalize there, yada yada yada. This is different. The people reading these are looking for specific keywords and phrases. So, as I'll show here, so here and here. Those were some of the keywords needed. And as I was editing this, my boss was like, you cannot change that. Using the capital letters makes the word pop out, in a sense. And that helps the reader out, and they know that you know what you're doing. Another thing is throwing out some grammar rules. I know this goes contrary to everything that we've learned, but like this and here, and obviously there are just horrible grammar mistakes in this entire thing, which irritates me, but there was nothing that I could do about it. Acronyms, you never want to use an acronym without introducing it, unless it's a specific agency that you're applying for and they already know what those acronyms mean. Like EOC, Emergency Operations Center. Simple enough for those who are reading it, but if you're applying for something else, they'll have no clue and throw it out. So yeah, follow directions, make sure you have good audience awareness, and make sure your content is relevant. Questions?
So like the parts of grammar stuff you said you don't really need to follow those rules as strictly. Why is it in grants it's more effective to not follow the rules?
It helps you get your point across on why you need the grant. So here, this is for a communications grant for a website and server and everything. They're looking for how it will help the community and how we will use it to help the community. So, like I said here, I'll use a different color. Right there, they're looking for those keywords because, I might have the directions. No, it's not in that one. I can pull it up actually. Okay, apparently I don't have it. I did have the PDF. I don't want to log into my email and take extra time. But to answer your question fully, it's what they're looking for. And the person who writes these grants, as bad as her grammar is, if you sit here and read it, it'll give you a headache. She gets us almost all of the grants that she writes for. So, like, that's a or a misspelling. Here's one of those other points, and you're not supposed to have a hyphen there, but it's horrible.
So is it just like the people reading the grants, they're not that focused on, it's just not important, the grammar aspects of it, it's more the message?
Yes, because they know that the people applying may not have the higher level of education to make it a fancy document. So it's the content that matters more than the structure. Other questions?
Did you do a readability index on this to find out?
I did not.
That would be really interesting to find out to what extent, if you try to write over the audience's head, if that's not effective, if maybe writing a little bit more simplistically is a good strategy, maybe even creating a few errors so that, it's kind of like what they call the angel share, it's just like some kind of mistake they can pick on besides maybe some of the data in the document.
When in doubt, KISS. Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah. Other questions for Bryce? I have one more. To what extent do you think taking technical editing and kind of gaining some of the skill set that you have during the semester, to what extent do you think that's going to make your job maybe more respectable? Is this going to help you in your career?
Possibly. Well, for me at least. It'll help you edit things like this. Your boss will know, oh, he took technical editing, he can edit this for me, and it'll look better. And so they'll just use you as, I guess, a crutch to help up where they fall short.
You might consider reminding them that how much a professional technical editor gets paid per year, so that they realize that it's a valuable skill. It's not like with somebody who owns a truck and always has to move other people around. Yeah, you want to make sure you get paid for your labor, Yeah. Thank you so much. If there's no other questions, we'll call it in. Thanks.